Hey everybody, Nerd Transformed here again, and today I'm reviewing the KREO Transformers Kreon Battle Changers Ironhide. Sorry, it's kind of a mouthful. If you don't know much about the KREO line or the Battle Changers, please go watch my previous review of Megatron from this line as I go into more detail about all the differences. But basically, instead of a build-a-set, this is more of a transforming build-a-set, as you do have to build it, but once it's built, you don't have to undo anything in order to change it from one mode to the other. So it's basically just a normal transformer made out of Lego. Now, Megatron previously I reviewed was kind of based on Transformers Prime Megatron. This one, I'm not sure what the inspiration for this Ironhide is. He's definitely got the G1 look, sort of down. He has the colors and everything, like with this dark red and everything, but in his robot mode, it's definitely based on the G1 Ironhide. But nothing about this Jeep really speaks to any particular Ironhide to me, except maybe the Transformers Prime Ironhide. It was like a little Commander class figure. So he's a bit of an odd one. Looking at him, he does have quite a few sticker details. Like you can see right here, make an engine block. At the top here, you have like these little solar panels kind of look with a big Autobot symbol right there. You do get some venting details back here, and on the back there's an Autobot symbol. At first I thought it would form his chest, but no, it's just, this actually ends up as kibble. He's even more of a kibble former than Megatron was, and if you remember Megatron, he was a bit of a mess. This one is kind of both better and worse. But I do like the details. We do got like the little rims around the car. Car wheels do work really well. He does roll really, really well. I do like the headlights are actually these little Lego bits. I do kind of wish we got some of those little clear plastic ones that go across. Maybe make a couple of yellow ones just to make it look more like headlights. But, you know, they are there, and there's kind of a transformation reason why they don't look like anything. The vehicle itself is pretty hollow. I mean, you can actually pop open the part here, and you could probably sit a little Kreon right here if you wanted. Yeah, probably a little Kreon could probably just fit right in there since it's kind of hollow here too. So you could stick a little figure in there, I think. But yeah, he's got a lot of gaps right here under there and right there. But it's nice that he does actually open up. You can actually conceivably have something sit in there. He does have some accessories. He has two guns. These little sniper rifle looking things actually. Yeah, they kind of look like sniper rifles. So, and you do have plenty of places to peg them. I think you're meant to kind of peg them up on this little piece, since this piece doesn't really do anything other than just sit here. So you could peg them in there and give them little twin cover guns. And since this is on the hinge, you could put them all kinds of places. You could put them back here and make them look more like smokestacks. Bring them all the way forward. They are kind of rotating. There we go. Kind of have them kind of covertly hide right there. But, you know, you can move them all over the place. I kind of prefer just giving them a little gun stack sticking out to the back like that. Shoot down Megatron or something. Speaking of which, for size comparison, they are about the same size. Megatron is a little bit wider, but Ironhide's a little bit more compact. He's not quite as hollow as Megatron is. And he does have Megatron's same problem of just robot underneath. I mean, a lot of them have this issue, but they are pretty much the same exact idea. They transform almost exactly the same, other than how their kibble moves. Which is not a good thing if you do Megatron's transformation. And he has a much more simplified transformation than Megatron. So to start off, we're going to go ahead and remove the guns. Go ahead and take this little piece and just flip it down. Take the windshield and just pop it up and out of the way. Make sure this red piece comes with it. You're going to come down here. I'll show you from this side just so you can see better. The little square parts will pop off from the sides there. Take the bottom half of the car and rotate it around. It does rotate easier than Megatron's did. Take the headlight pieces here and just flip them on back and they'll form heels. Go ahead and split the front of the car, and they are held together by this little bionicle style bit, which is kind of interesting. Go ahead and take the arms to rotate them for the elbows, or the arm will just pop off. He also has a lot of stress marks on his arms, which are a little worrying. And normally it's like this, so finally what you're going to do is make sure the windshield's always back, and the rest of the car cable will kind of just collapse back. It doesn't really peg it anywhere. And there you have Ironhide in his robot mode. Yeah, we're going to be right back in just a second. Now we have Ironhide in his robot mode. Let's go and get comparisons out of the way. Here he is next to Megatron. You can see Megatron's significantly taller. And you can see almost the exact same issues here. Like I mentioned before, some things Megatron does better, some things Ironhide does better, but they're both really kind of bad. Because they both have like the same thing going on. The kibble is all just on the back. The legs are just flipped around vehicle parts with heels sticking out the back that will work better as feet. And the arms are barely arms. But Megatron at least kind of had an extra piece on top to at least give him like these little claw hands. It wasn't much, but at least they resemble more like arms. Ironhide, I am not missing pieces. The instructions actually showed us. The box art shows us. He just has these panels. He just has panels for arms. I mean, literally, they didn't even try. I mean, sticking his guns in his hands kind of, well, hands, quote-unquote, help. Because, I mean, at least but all that's not even really making it better. It's more just hiding the fact that he has no hands. I mean, he does look good with the gun if his arm doesn't pop off. Yep. I mean, he does look good with the guns, but it still doesn't get rid of the fact he doesn't have any hands, and he just has this big chunk of kibble that just came off. I mean, all this kibble sticking off the back, we couldn't give him any hands? Or at least shoulders or something. He also has no real feet, so he doesn't really stand well. I mean, Megatron had no real feet syndrome, but at least he had these little bits right here sticking down that kind of help. Ironhide kind of has that, but they're more off to the side and they're much thinner. So he has a lot more trouble with standing. Plus, Megatron's kibble is very thin and a lot more compact. Ironhide is a huge chunk, literally over half the vehicle modes just hanging off his back. I mean, we're not counting the robot bits here, so yeah, 2/3 of the vehicle is just hanging off his back. And the other third are just barely making his legs. I mean, he can do kind of like Megatron, where if you swivel his legs back around and pretend these are feet rather than heel spurs, he does stand a little bit better, but you kind of have to lean him forward quite a bit. I mean, this now ends up reversing the problem where he has no real backs to his feet. He doesn't have any heels or anything. He's literally just bouncing on these two little panels. So, pick your poison which way you want that, because either you have no feet with nothing to bounce forward, and plus with all this kibble, it just doesn't work. Megatron's works because he still has these bits that rely on, so you can still switch this whole thing around to where he has actual feet, and you still have those for his heel spurs, so that kind of works still. Plus his kibble's not nearly as heavy. I mean, yeah, Megatron having all the kibble in the legs make him look really chunky and kind of bad, but at least he has a balance. Ironhide, though, does not have either. So yeah, you're kind of just stuck leaving him with these terrible looking legs, which, to be honest, look kind of worse than how Megatron's did. I mean, Megatron's look like just huge chunks of kibble, but at least them being spaceship parts kind of made them look like they were transformed from something. Plus, he had the middle piece kind of come out here. No, Ironhide's just straight. Oh, Megatron's heel spur just came off. That's another problem. He still has that problem too, where pieces just fly off. But here, nope, just that's your Ironhide. So let's take a look at some of his details. I do like the head. That's a pretty nice Ironhide head sculpt. That helmet is definitely G1 Ironhide. His head's gonna come off, but I'll give us a better look at the head then. That head, that helmet is definitely G1 Ironhide. And the screaming war face with like the slight wrinkles under the eyes, yeah, that's G1 Ironhide all the way. Him just screaming his war cry, shooting all the Decepticons you can see inside, and slightly older looking. Same with the chest plate, actually, which is pretty nice. I mentioned the sticker again, it just ends up back here, which is really weird. Like, we add the sticker just for it to be the back of the vehicle mode and cover it up in robot mode. But yeah, I do like the detailing on the head and the chest, it's pretty nice. The arms have these weird stress marks on them, right, especially around the shoulders, and it does worry me quite a bit. I feel like this figure's going to just break apart one day. Especially with how stiff these ball joints can be. And yeah, the no hand syndrome, just the everything. We might as well cover his articulation, which is decent. His head does swivel if you can get going. You can kind of sometimes get going, sometimes the helmet just swivels around. You might just be better off just removing the helmet, then swiveling the head and putting the helmet back on. The arms are ball jointed, so they go forward and back, and they do go outward, which is pretty nice. It's a pretty nifty little thing that LEGO hasn't done. You do get ball jointed elbows as well, so forward and all the way back, and some slight pivot, as well as rotation. You do get a swivel at the waist, as well as ball jointed hips, forward, back, and out to the side. You do get ball jointed knees, so swivel, back, forward, and then you do have a ankle movement, I guess. I mean, you could fold these in, because conceivably give them some actual feet, but you know, You could have him like kind of lean back like that, tripod it. So yeah, no real feet movement. So yeah, that's Battle Changer's Ironhide. I like his vehicle mode, and I like some of the ideas of his robot mode. I do think the head and the chest look really good. Like on a Kreon, a normal Kreon, this would be a really cool Ironhide. As a Transformer, just overall look in robot mode, though, he's a disaster zone. Like, Megatron was a bit of a disaster, but he had just enough to kind of keep him going. Ironhide's a complete disaster. No hands whatsoever to speak of, literally just a panel, just a panel. I mean, Shockwave's arms are kind of chunky, but at least they actually look like arms. Grimlock even has the full-on claws from his G1 toy. Ironhide has no real hands, he has no real feet, he doesn't even really have legs to speak of. I mean, they are articulated, but they're just truck chunks sticking off with headlights pretending to be heels. And then there's that massive backpack. Just everything about this feels wrong. So in all honesty, I really can't recommend this figure, especially since this one compared to Megatron Grimlock, who go for about 15-20 a piece, and even Shockwave, who also goes for about 20, he goes for about 25 to 30. Yeah, I don't recommend him at all. So, this has been Nerdy Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.